Hello everybody, this is my next video log. So here we go, let's get started, let's just jump into it, eh? So there's a 57-year-old dude, alright? He lives around Alabama, and he's a smoker. That's pretty much the basics of this dude here. But what's interesting about this dude is the fact of what really happened to him because of what he's trying to do. Alright? He's a smoker, okay? And I think he's finally realizing that this smoking is not a good thing to do. Whether that be because he's being pressured into it, because of loved ones around him pushing him to stop this unhealthy habit, or whether it's because he himself has finally decided to just do what he knows he needs to do, and that's to stop smoking because it's not good for his health whatsoever. So I think he finally had enough of the negative effects to his deteriorating health from all that cough and stuff, you know, because your body's just trying to expel all the stuff that gets into your lungs because all those hairs have been burnt away from smoking, depending on how long he's been a smoker, I don't know. Okay, so that's just a typical smoker story, right? Okay, there's gotta be more to this story, right? Well, there is, and I'm about to let you know. So, what do you think happened next? Well, I guess I should tell you a little bit more about what's happening here. Some smokers, they don't just quit. You know, they want to slowly ease off of it so they have the least amount of withdrawal symptoms. Even that's understandable, right? Anyways, the nicotine is what keeps you addicted to the cigarette. So the fact that you just stop and your body starts, I don't know, I guess craving it, and the person goes through withdrawals and they want their nicotine. There's several different ways you can do this. You can get patches which have nicotine inside of them, okay? So these patches inject nicotine into your bloodstream slowly in smaller increment amounts over time, so until you can finally just get off of it completely because your body kind of gets used to not having it there, so therefore you don't have the withdrawal symptoms, I guess, that you would have if you just stopped cold turkey. But anyways, there's this other thing, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it by now, but they're called electrical cigarettes. So they're kind of like a real cigarette. Maybe some people still do it for the social ramifications of this. You know, they just pop in an electrical cigarette. The great thing about these, though, is that they don't have smoke coming out of it, so there's no secondhand smoke. So you don't have to worry about somebody smoking next to you and then you breathing in their fumes and be like, oh great, you're going to get me sick because you're sitting next to me smoking. Do you not care about me or my health? Come on. So that's the great thing about these. People can still have their nicotine fix, but they don't have to worry about affecting somebody else's health. So I think that's very great. But there's one interesting thing that happened with this particular cigarette that this person was using, this 57-year-old dude. Okay, so he has this cigarette, and you know, they're powered by electricity, so therefore they need a battery to power the thing. In this case, he had I believe it was a rechargeable battery that he put in there, so he just kept recharging after it got low and stuff. So I'm not sure how old this battery was, but he has his battery, okay? Okay, yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure you're all used to that because you've probably had a lot of electrical devices over your years, and they all probably require batteries. And don't you just hate it when you get something, you open it up, it's a brand new electrical item, and it's like, batteries not included. And you're like, dope. Then you gotta go sorting through your house, do I have any new batteries? And you find out you don't, and you gotta go, oh great, I got this cool new item, but I can't use it till I get some batteries. And then usually you can't get batteries until maybe the next day or something because you have too much other stuff going on, and it's just like, oh, that stinks. But anyways, back to the story here. We have this dude, and he's smoking away on a cigarette. He's in his home, in, I think, his bedroom, somebody's bedroom. It wasn't specifically clear, but I'm guessing his bedroom. Anyways, so he's sitting in there, smoking, well, sucking away on his electrical cigarette, because there's no smoke, so it's not really puffing away, right? Well, something like that. Anyways, so he's just sitting there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the cigarette decides to blow up on him. So you're thinking like, uh-oh, blowing up. What happened? Is he still alive? That's what I'm wondering too. Well, anyway, I guess I'll continue on the story here. So he's sitting there. It blows up. It takes two of his teeth, I believe. Actually, I don't think it's specified. It said several of his teeth, his front teeth. It's like, dude, that's horrible. And also took out a part of his tongue. That's horrible. And it even burnt his face. I'm not sure how badly, but it burnt his face. As far as I know, he's still alive. You know, the article said he was recovering in a hospital. So that's pretty good news. I mean, usually if something like that would kill you, it would kill you on the spot. But it just makes you go, whoa, that's insane, right? Because these cigarettes should not do that at all. So it makes you wonder what's at fault here. Is it the cigarette itself? Or is it the battery? And that's pretty much the only thing that can go wrong, right? I'm pretty sure you gotta put in nicotine packets too, but I doubt that'd cause an explosion. But you never know, because I'm not that adapted to nicotine. I don't know what the heck it's all about. I don't think it's that explosive at all. I don't know. I know batteries can definitely be explosive if they aren't treated right. I'm guessing in this case, it was a rechargeable. No, I'm not guessing. The article said it was a rechargeable battery, but in this case, this battery probably got recharged too many times and was kind of low on its lifespan, and he just kept using it, and maybe he left it on the charger a little too long and it got overcharged, and then as he's sitting there using it, it just kind of went kerbloomy because it just reached the end of its life, and unfortunately in this case that caused an explosion. Okay, so if all that just isn't enough, Guess what else happens? During this explosion, the battery flew outward into his closet across the room and then started his closet on fire. That's all the article specified. I don't know if the rest of his house caught fire, but I'm guessing that got put out, so he didn't lose his house as far as I know. So, whew, that would be a pretty crazy day, right? Almost lost his own life and his house in the same stinking day because of the same problem. Whew. All I gotta say is that's one unlucky dude in some ways, but lucky dude in another way because he's still alive to tell the tale. That's gotta be one interesting tale. To tell. Tell the tale. Haha, that's funny. That can be sort of a tongue twister, probably, huh? Anyways, it just makes you wonder though, is he gonna have to get facial reconstruction? Maybe some facial surgery to help reconstruct the parts of his face that got burnt? Because again, it didn't show a picture at all of how, well, burnt he was. So they just said burnt, so I'm guessing his face is still mostly intact. It's just that tongue. The piece of his tongue is gone, and then some of his teeth are gone. It's like, wow. Insanity, I know. Okay, so this brings us on to the next part. So maybe after all this you're wondering, well, how can I prevent something like this happening to myself or somebody that I'm watching out for? From what it looks like, the battery exploded because it probably wasn't taken care of, or it had a manufacturer defect in it. But I'm guessing it just wasn't taken care of. Because it was a rechargeable battery, that means you can use it for a while. I'm not sure the average lifespan on those actually, but usually they only last a certain amount of charges. Once you get this amount of charges done, you basically need to go recycle the battery and get a new one. In this case, I'm guessing he just kept charging it up, charging it up, charging it up, charging it up. Who knows how old the battery was. It's slowly going to deteriorate, and then it's not going to be usable anymore. When you first got the battery, if it lasted like a day, now when you charge it, it lasts like an hour, it's probably a good sign that you should get rid of it and get a new one. You know, just take care of your batteries and they'll take care of you. And not blow you up because they're not working right. And then this goes on to the manufacturer defect part. Products can never be made perfect, usually. If it's a worker making it, he's tired, maybe he's putting something somewhere where it shouldn't be. Well, in the case of a battery, it's probably made by a mechanical arm. But because it's mechanical, you know, it's moving around, that has wear and tear. Because the arm is moving around, you know, maybe the gears and stuff are starting to wear out, and maybe it doesn't move it as precise as it once did. Therefore, it might put something where it's not supposed to be. But that's why they have such thing as quality assurance. If they have a decent quality assurance team, then no bad battery should get by their quality assurance team. Basically, once the product's been made, they go through and make sure the products themselves work as advertised and are not going to have some defect in them that it's going to cause them to basically not operate as intended. And, you know, blowing up is definitely something that's not intended at all. Unless it's employed to take somebody out. Kidding. But yeah. Other cases could be, it's just simply that you're not taking care of your battery at all. Batteries usually only operate in a certain temperature range. So basically, like, if you live in the desert, okay, you do not want to leave your battery sitting exposed in your car with the sun beating directly on it. And if you're leaving it in the car, you should probably put it in a shaded area. Because high temperatures is very bad. Because high temperatures will get the chemicals inside excited, and maybe they'll start interacting in ways that you do not want them to start interacting. Again, this is only in extreme cases. Just take care of your stuff, don't be stupid about it and stuff like that. And on the other hand, extreme cold can actually affect stuff too. So if you live in a cold area, you know, you don't want to leave your phone sitting in the ice while it snows overnight. I mean, in most cases, it'll probably be fine, but that stresses the battery, so therefore, it has potentials of causing problems with it. So the less stress you have on your battery, the more it's going to operate as it should and not blow up on you. But again, that's assuming that the reason it blew up was because of the battery and not because of the cigarette itself. But it must be the battery because the cigarette is probably just a little circuit board, nothing much to it, so it was probably the battery. You know, and also, it just kind of comes down into, well, common sense. And I have a friend that can very much attest to that. And this is an interesting story. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the story about my friend and his unfortunate event with a battery. Specifically, a battery inside a cell phone. Okay, so he's out and about hanging out with friends and stuff, okay? There's this, well, for all intents and purposes, we'll call him Idiot. It describes him pretty dang well, too, especially once you hear the story. This idiot, he has a new cell phone, and he has his old one out and about, and he's like, okay, I don't need this old cell phone. So he has this bright idea of throwing this thing, this old cell phone, including the battery, which is still inside of it, inside a fire. Great, huh? Okay, this cell phone starts burning up in the battery. You know, if that wasn't worse enough, because you have all the toxic fumes from the battery, the plastic, the metal, the circuit board, and all that coming up, and hopefully you don't breathe that in, because that's definitely not healthy. So if you don't breathe it in, you know, big whoop, whatever. So then, the battery, yes, so we're on the same topic of exploding batteries, so it did just that. It exploded. Okay? But guess what happened? Guess where the battery flew to, or at least a piece of the battery. It flew straight into my friend's arm. Yeah, his arm. That's gotta burn, huh? Battery plus battery acid on your skin. Burning? Very hot? Ooh, would not be a fun experience at all. But it definitely left a pretty decent sized welt too. My friend still has full mobility of his arm, he can use it and everything. He definitely has a scar left over from this. And it's just one of those things like, come on people, use your brain. Don't be doing something stupid like that and putting somebody else's life at risk because you decide to throw a dang cell phone into a friggin' fire. Some people out there, huh? Some people. So basically this video right here, the whole point of it boils down to, well, don't treat your batteries badly because you do not want something like this to happen to you or somebody you know. So yeah, just keep some of that stuff in mind. You know, again, this doesn't happen that often, at least as far as I know. We hope it doesn't. But batteries, you know, take care of them. Just like most things, you know, treat your batteries with respect, blah, blah, blah. Drink responsibly, you know, stuff like that. If everybody had more common sense and did things more responsibly, we'd have a lot less problems in the world, huh? But a lot less stories, too. So, use your common sense, hopefully for the good of us all, because we do not want to lose people because of somebody else's stupid decision. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video here. If you liked it, usual thumbs up. I'll see you all later. See ya. Bye. Peace. And I'm out of here.